Hi everyone, it's White Gold, your tarot card reading friend, and we are here with another tarot reading. This time we are going to be talking about something that I am very passionate about, which is work. And for anybody who has any work questions, this reading is going to be all about your career and, just sort of answering whatever career question you have in your heart. So it could be something like, am I going to get a promotion? Am I on the right path? Should I take this new job? If you've got a career question, think of it now and meditate while you look at these cards and pick a pile that resonates with you. We've got piles 1, 2, 3, and 4 starting from the left. The rose quartz would be 1, and then moving our way to the right would be 2, 3, and 4. So just take a moment and meditate for a minute and see which pile resonates the most with you, and then I'll go ahead and get started. All right, I'm going to jump into pile number 1. Before I do, I just want to show you that I lit some candles for you all tonight. I've got love, healing, and protection for you as well. So we will get started with pile number 1. I'm just going to move things around here real quick. Okay, so as usual, I've got a variety of cards for you today, and we are actually going to start with the Rider-Waite deck. Oh, you can see my little narwhal guy in the background, but anyways, okay, so we've got the Rider-Waite Tarot, and the first card I pull is the Tower. I've got the Three of Wands, I've got the Five of Cups, and I've got the Chariot. Okay, interesting. So think about your work question, and I'm going to just start talking to you about kind of what comes to mind with these different cards. So the first card, of course, is the Tower, and it looks like a shit show. So this might be how you're feeling about work right now, or maybe you felt that way in the past. But, obviously you can see that, like, things are going to hell in a handbasket in this image. Lightning striking the tower, people are falling out of the tower's breaking, everything's sort of a mess. But as scary as this card looks, I actually see it as sort of a new beginning. So things sometimes have to break apart in order to be rebuilt in a better way. And so perhaps that's how you're feeling or how you felt in the past about work, but, let's go to the rest of the cards just for a little bit more context. So the Three of Wands, anytime you see a wand in a tarot reading, it means that something's going on spiritually, and this person is sort of standing, like, looking out over this bay, this golden bay, and his back is to us, and he's alone, and, I kind of feel like maybe, like, the tower, like, there's a bit of a breakdown, and then now there's a little bit of a respite, but then we've got the Five of Cups. And so this person here sees the 3 cups that are spilled, but he doesn't see the 2 cups behind him that actually are full. So this is a reminder here, just, in terms of your work decision, like you may be feeling sort of, like a little bit lost or alone. You may be like kind of making some forward-looking decisions. Don't forget to consider all of the good things and all of the things that you do have. A lot of times we come up, especially in work, with this mentality around kind of like what you don't have or lack. And if you have a mentality of abundance, you'll attract more abundance. So, don't forget to turn around and see the 2 cups that are still full in this situation. And then lastly, we have the Chariot, and the Chariot to me always means like movement, and a lot of times if it comes up in a career reading, it'll be around changing jobs. So, maybe things have broken down in your current situation, maybe you like got fired, maybe something bad happened, maybe you ended up feeling, a little bit like these 2 cards, but in reality, now we're at the Chariot, which means forward motion, because chariots go forward. You don't really see like in Ben-Hur, like chariots like reversing, so, I feel like this is a positive card, towards moving towards the future. So all in all, I think, sometimes things can be tough, but ultimately, like, it doesn't have to, what's happening now is not permanent. And a lot of times it's just shifting your perspective about something. That's the necessary part. So I also pulled a goddess card, and I got Rhiannon the Sorceress, and she has a really beautiful message, which is you are a magical person who can manifest your clear intentions into reality. And I think that's just a reminder, again, when you're this person, be sure to look for like your abundance. Take that time to reflect, like this person. But you know what? Don't forget about these 2 cups in the back, and, you know, focus on those and focus on bringing more of that into your life. And then, of course, I pulled a unicorn card. And, you know, if you had a work question that was, you know, like yes or no, like what you're asking about is true. And you already know it. So, you know, resonate in that and just really focus on this energy of the Chariot. And if you have a moment, like definitely like Google the Chariot and Google like what the meaning is behind it. And, you know, really lean into like that energy of just forward motion. All right, great. So that was pile number 1. Next we'll do pile number 2. All right, so we've got our Rider-Waite. And we've got Knight of Wands. We've got the 4 of Swords, the Knight of Swords, and the 7 of Swords. So let's start with this Knight of Wands. So knights in a love reading to me usually indicate a person. In a work reading, they can also indicate a person, or they can indicate a message. And wands, again, always spiritual. Wands are always indicative of something going on the spiritual level. So you may be getting a message, you know, telling you what you need to know in terms of your work questions on the spiritual level. Or maybe there's a person coming into your life that will give you a message, and typically they'll be like a fire sign, somebody maybe like middle age or younger, and male. So fire signs would be, of course, you know, Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo. And, you know, this person's coming in hot. So whatever news you're waiting for, you're going to get. What's interesting is the next card is the 4 of Swords, and this is usually a card that symbolizes withdrawal, and maybe you need to withdraw into yourself. Maybe you'll get this message and you'll need to take some time alone and withdraw and really think about things and meditate on things. The next card is the Knight of Swords. And it's interesting because there's a lot of swords in this reading. So a lot of stuff going on in your head. And a Knight of Swords, again, knights either can represent like a younger man, you know, coming into your life with a message, or it could just indicate that like there's going to be some type of message coming to you through, you know, communication, through your mind, through talking, something along those lines. So whatever answer you're seeking, it's definitely going to hit you between these 2 knights. And then lastly, we have the 7 of Swords. And 7 of Swords, as you can tell, this guy is sneaking away. He thinks he's stealing these swords from this kind of like military camp that's going on. And it is clearly a very fabulous military situation because look at the boots with the fur, just saying. But you can see that there's some dudes in the background and they already have figured out like, hey, this guy's stealing our swords. So clearly this dude's smiling like he thinks he's going to get away with it. But like, no, like he's definitely caught. So if you're considering, you know, in a work situation, like taking a shortcut or cutting corners, now is definitely not the time to do that. And this Knight of Swords might be the person that's going to come in and whip your ass for doing it. So definitely proceed with caution and have your eyes open to anybody or any signs that are coming in your way. So I also pulled a Goddess card. And, you know, with swords, a lot of times that can mean that there's like a lot of anxiety going on. And since there were three of 4 cards had swords, I would say that, you know, Lakshmi here is just here to remind you like, hey, don't worry. This is, again, temporary. Like, stop worrying. Everything's going to be fine. And then your unicorn card says, you know, thankful. And to me, that just means, you know, take a minute to stop and pause, and whatever crazy situation is happening at work right now, just literally write down like 3 things with regards to work that you're grateful for. And this is something like I even have to do sometimes, and I have a great career, very successful for my age, in an industry that's really challenging. And, you know, like I was kind of getting upset about having to work kind of crazy hours, but then I realized today I had somebody over to help me with some stuff around the house, and she was so amazed at how great my house is, and oh, you live here by yourself. And I just realized, I'm like, you know what, I'm working really hard, but I have so much to show for it, and I need to be thankful that I have this opportunity. So I highly recommend whenever this card comes up, take a minute right now and just write, even type it in your phone, write out 3 things that you're thankful for, 3 people, 3 elements about your career that you're thankful for, and then bring more of that into your life. Okay, so pile number 3. First card is the Moon. Second card is 10 of Swords. Third card is 6 of Cups. Oh, you have more swords, so 8 of Swords. Okay, so my first thought about whatever is going on with your work situation. So the moon is bright, right? The moon's always bright. It doesn't shine its own light, though. It's not the sun. And basically what that means is that there is a shadow side to the moon, and you can see these dogs are howling at it and kind of making weird dog faces. And this lobster's like coming out of nowhere, getting a little hyphy, but the moon definitely attracts people, but it also has a shadow side. And so in your situation, I just want to caution you to think about, like, consider other sides of the story, and definitely think about, you know, is there something that you could be missing? Are you so focused on your feelings about whatever's going on that you're not actually looking at the big picture? And, you know, are you confronting the shadow side of yourself? Like, maybe you're in a work conflict, or maybe you're not getting along with your boss. Like, what are you doing to contribute to the situation? So the 10 of Swords is probably one of the scariest looking cards in the whole deck. So this guy is literally like stabbed on the back, laying on the ground, dead, with 10 swords in his back, which sucks. But, you know, 10s are always the end of a cycle or the end of something that's going on. And, you know, maybe this is how you're feeling right now. Like, maybe you're feeling stabbed in the back. Maybe you're feeling, like you're a prisoner of your own thoughts, or you're full of anxieties or something like that. And so, you know, just know, like, yeah, you feel this way, but like, hey, like, this guy's not in pain right now. He's dead. Like, things have come to an end. And just like the Death card, it can also be, you know, a signal of rebirth. And so, you know, if you're feeling this way now, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're feeling this way forever. Because I do have a really positive card, which is the 6 of Cups with these 2 really adorable kids. All their cups are full. All their cups are flourishing with these like beautiful flowers. Everything's sunny. Like, they're having a great time. You know, so the 6 of Cups to me definitely signals like, hey, like, things are in bloom. Things are sort of turning around, and, you know, you're on your way up the mountain, but you're over halfway there. And, you know, like, in a love reading, it can mean a reunion, but like in a work reading, you know, maybe somebody will come into your life that you used to work with and offer you a job at another company, or, you know, like, there is opportunity out there. The last card is a woman who's blindfolded, and there's a few cards in the deck where people are blindfolded, and so I always feel like it's the cards like cheeky way of saying, like, I'm not going to show you the whole future in this situation. It's the 8 of Swords, so on the way up to this 10 of Swords story, and the 8 is like, your struggle's almost done. She's blindfolded, but she's not actually like getting hurt by the swords. So this usually signifies to me, again, it's sort of like, be aware of your own thoughts being cruel to you. Like, be aware of the fact that, like, sometimes you can be a prisoner of your own mind. Like, if she took that blindfold off, she could just walk out of this, like, area of swords, like, and not be cut and not have even wet shoes. Like, there's puddles, but like, she could easily get out of the situation, and like, she's not bound that tightly. And so I just feel like she's a prisoner of her own mind. So you need to be aware of controlling your own thoughts and making sure that, like, you're taking time to meditate and really like looking at a situation from every angle, and making sure that, like, you aren't over analyzing, but that you're just aware of like what's going on in the truth. So I pulled a Goddess card as well. And the Goddess card here is just, you're supplied today for all of your tomorrows. It's infinite supply. And so just know, like, whatever all of this like mucky stuff you're going through, like, it's not forever, and, you know, it's ultimately not going to affect, you know, your income forever. The other part here, and this kind of goes with these swords, you know, let go of your stress. Like, don't take on other people's stress. Like, breathe it all out now. Make sure you're meditating. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself, and make sure that you're doing like what makes you happy, so that you can relax and let go, and, you know, like, step out of whatever this energy is. So there you go, pile number 3. Get out of your own head, get out of your own way, and that abundance is going to come to you. All right, last pile number 4, we're going to start with the Rider-Waite. And we've got the 3 of Swords, we've got the Sun, we've got the 8 of Wands, and we've got the Emperor. So 3 of Swords is, you know, kind of a heartbreak symbol or like a sorrow symbol in some ways, but like the heart's not bleeding. And in a way, it's like almost like a metaphorical sorrow. So maybe you feel like you're a little heartbroken. Maybe like your job isn't going how you want and you're just feeling like a little frustrated right now. But then the Sun card, in my opinion, can be the most optimistic card in the deck. The sun emanates its own light. It's so bright. It's nourishing the sunflowers. Like, there's like a kid and a horse like partying naked together. Like, life is good in this card. So just know that like this will eventually turn into that. Like, this storm is going to become sunshine. And the Eight of Wands. So, you know, in terms of like the tarot deck, like as you go through the cycle of the numbers, 8 is obviously very close to 10. And so spiritually, like whatever this journey is to get from here to here, like you're on this spiritual journey. Like you're moving forward. You're still like this isn't a fighting scene with wands. Like you're not going to struggle with yourself. And the last card sort of ties into that, because we have the Emperor, and the Emperor is very paternal and just like he's controlled. Like look how he's sitting, like perfectly upright, holding whatever that gold thing is in his hands. He has gold things, I guess, in both hands, but holding whatever that shit is. Like he's like sitting upright, he's controlled, he's got his armor on, but he's like, you know, looking ahead and, you know, thinking about his future. It's like an earth sign, like very grounded. And so he, you know, is very representative of the fact that, like, you know, like, there is control. Like, you may be feeling this way now, but, like, you're going to get to these cards. You're going to get to, like, feeling like you're in control. You're going to get to the happy place. Like, don't worry about it. It's all coming. And to add a little, you know, color to that, I pulled a Goddess card. And so this is the Be Strong card. And it says, you're stronger than you think you are, and your strength ensures a happy outcome. So who's stronger than the Emperor physically? Like, he has so much strength, both in terms of his political strength, his strength in leadership, his strength in, you know, physical strength, you know, being like kind of a bad dude, you know, just sitting there and chilling. So lean into that strength. Whatever this is right now that you're dealing with, it's gonna end. And the other piece is talk about your feelings. Tell a friend how you feel. You know, if you're feeling this way, the only way you can really like get to being happy is like understanding it, and through, you know, talking to your friends, maybe you can get a different perspective or a different understanding on that situation. So, you know, definitely lean on the people in your life, focus on the good things, focus on what you want to draw more of into your life versus focusing on the problem. And my biggest career advice for anybody is focus on the solution. If you focus on the problem without focusing on the solution, you're never going to get out of that problem state. So last word of advice, always focus on the solution no matter what's going on in your career. And I hope that you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and may all of your career dreams come true. Thank you.